Good morning and welcome to KidNuz, sponsored today by Bamboo Learning. I'm Tori. It's Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, and we begin with the music industry hitting the pause button today to draw attention to racial injustice. It's being billed as Blackout Tuesday, a day for artists to disconnect from work, reconnect with community, and acknowledge the unrest that has swept the U.S. to oppose people being treated differently because of the color of their skin. On radio stations and streaming services, it won't be business as usual. Some will replace live programs with taped, others will have special guests. It's only one day, but record labels say it's a start and will be noticed. Also being noticed, family members who have been closely impacted by injustice are urging protesters not to turn to violence or riots. Their message: peace on the left, justice on the right. The timing was certainly good for Crayola, one of the biggest makers of children's art supplies, to launch a new box set. It's called Colors of the World, and it's designed to mirror and represent dozens of skin tones all over the world. The creation of this pack was announced late last month on the United Nations World Day for Cultural Diversity. Crayola CEO says it's hoped this set will allow children to creatively and accurately draw themselves into the world they see around them. Crayola Colors of the World crayons will come in a 24 and 32 count pack and will begin to hit shelves in July for the back-to-school season. The busiest airport in the world right now is not Chicago or London or Atlanta. It's actually the small airport in Anchorage, Alaska, at least on some Saturdays. That's the most hectic day there for cargo operations at the spot, which is exactly halfway between New York and Tokyo. The airport's manager explains that a lot of the supplies used in North America to fight the coronavirus are produced in Asia, and Anchorage is the perfect place for a pit stop. So when the planes first take off, they can be filled with cargo, but only half filled with fuel. According to the airport's manager, Anchorage is positioned to perfect geographical advantage. It's 9.5 hours flying time away from 90% of the industrialized world. How far will companies go to make us feel comfortable in a crowd again? Apparently, no idea is too crazy. Some ballparks, schools, malls, and office buildings are installing thermal cameras that can reportedly scan high-traffic areas and check the crowd for fevers. Scientists say it sounds good in theory, but have serious questions about the accuracy of mass temperature taking. A restaurant in Japan is taking it quite a few steps further. Before dining, customers are required to step, fully dressed, into a machine that looks like a car wash for humans and get sprayed with a fine mist of a chlorine-based disinfectant for 30 seconds. It probably won't catch on. In not so many words, the World Health Organization called it a really bad idea. How do you capture a 250-pound black bear? Very carefully, and some tasty treats don't hurt either. That's what happened recently in Fort Myers, Florida, when the local police department was alerted that a bear had been roaming around a cement plant. They had to think of a way to corral the wild animal without scaring it away into the city's busy streets. One officer got creative, putting a few boxes of donuts and some blueberry pie-scented spray in a trap. The bear couldn't resist and enjoyed the sugar fix as officials from the Florida's Wildlife Department drove him back to state-protected wooded areas where he can roam freely and eat what he's supposed to. That's it for KidNuz. Now, the KidNuz quiz. The music industry is billing today as what? Blackout Tuesday, a day to reflect on the ongoing fight for racial justice. What's the name of Crayola's new box of crayons that will be available in July? Colors of the World. Where is the busiest airport in the world, at least on some Saturdays? Anchorage, Alaska. A restaurant in Japan is having people do what before coming inside? walk through a human car wash to get sprayed with disinfectant. And one for the road. There's not much baseball news out there these days, but there's this. On this day in 1935, one of the greatest players in the history of baseball ended his major league playing career after 22 seasons, 10 World Series, and 714 home runs. His name, Babe Ruth. The following year, the Sultan of Swat became one of the first 5 players inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. If you'd like to learn more about the Babe, the information is as close as your smart speaker. Just say, Alexa, open Bamboo Luminaries. Before we go, our KidNuz birthday shout-outs go to Stella in Nacogdoches, Texas, Lucas in Findlay, Ohio, Anna in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Ashley in Menlo Park, California, and Gus in Croton-on-Hudson, New York. And our teacher salutes go to Mrs. Shields' 4th grade class at Highland Elementary in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Mrs. Caballero's class at Northwood Elementary in Hilton, New York. Thanks for listening. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.